The school bell rings, and the entire classroom suddenly goes silent, because today, that same teacher is going to target him again. But this time, he wasn't alone. In a small American town, there was a 12-year-old boy named Ethan, quiet, simple, and always alone. No one in class talked to him, but the real problem wasn't the kids. It was his teacher, his math teacher, Mr. Carter would humiliate him in front of everyone for the smallest mistakes. "You'll never become anything, Ethan." That was a line he heard almost every other day. The other kids laughed, and Ethan would just lower his head in silence. One day, Ethan accidentally got a question wrong. Mr. Carter got furious and threw his notebook across the classroom. "Students like you are a waste of time." The whole class fell silent, but this time, Ethan didn't look down. He slowly looked up, and at that exact moment, the classroom lights began to flicker. At first, no one noticed. Then suddenly, all the numbers written on the board started erasing on their own. Mr. Carter froze. What the? Even Ethan was scared. After that day, strange things started happening. Whenever someone bothered him, something would go wrong in the classroom. Windows would shut on their own, books would fall, phones would suddenly turn off. Ethan didn't understand what was happening to him. One night, he was sitting in his room. Suddenly, his lamp started flickering on and off. Ethan panicked. Then, on the wall in front of him, a shadow began to form. And from that shadow, a voice spoke. "You're not alone, Ethan." He trembled. "Who are you?" The voice replied, "I've always been inside you. You just never woke me up." The next day at school, Mr. Carter targeted him again. "Still don't know anything, huh?" This time, Ethan didn't stay quiet. "Stop!" The entire class was shocked. Mr. Carter, furious, walked toward him. But as soon as he tried to touch Ethan's shoulder, his hand froze mid-air, as if an invisible force had grabbed it. Everything in the classroom slowly began to rise into the air. Chairs, books, and on the board, words wrote themselves. "Don't touch him." Now everyone was terrified, even Ethan. "Stop, please, I don't want this." But the power was fully awake now. Suddenly, Ethan saw a flash, an old hospital, a small child being experimented on. And then he realized he wasn't an ordinary boy. His parents had adopted him. But in reality, he was part of a secret government experiment. There was a dormant power inside him, one that activated through emotions. And years of humiliation, it had finally awakened it. Ethan dropped to his knees. "I don't want to hurt anyone." And then that shadow appeared again. Power isn't evil. The one who uses it decides what it becomes. Slowly, everything returned to normal. Mr. Carter collapsed to the ground, shaking in fear. After that day, no one ever bullied Ethan again. But the real question wasn't whether he was safe now. The real question was, if he couldn't control his power, would he become a danger himself? And maybe this was only the beginning.